Okay, it's been 20 minutes. So anyway, take off the plastic wrap here. Take a look at this thing. So I'm going to do some kneading here, and the simplest thing to do here is I'm going to do it on the countertop and try not to add too much more flour to this thing. So I took the time to clean the countertop. Anyway, mostly what we want to do here is be able to just work the dough, squish it, rotate it, and squish it, and just keep doing this for about 4 or 5 minutes at the best. And this will help develop the gluten. If this really is way too sticky and it's getting all over the place and not coming off, then you can add a little bit more flour, but you want to be careful because in adding flour you can oftentimes, not realizing it, add like a whole other half a cup to a cup of flour, which can really change the texture of the bread. So you want to try and avoid that if you can. One thing you can do if you have one is get a dough scraper, so if it keeps sticking to the counter, you can use that to kind of scrape it off. And of course, if your hands get really, really sticky, you can also lightly oil your hands, which you might need to do. We'll see. The trick about bread is you'll also discover that sometimes the humidity in the air can have an impact on how much liquid and flour ratios you need. So I find in the summertime, sometimes I don't need quite as much liquid. In the winter, it's usually a lot drier. So you need a little bit more, or at least more like what the recipe says. So, but if your house is air conditioned in the summer, then it may be that it's just like in the winter. So I know the recipe says something about knead until smooth. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, this dough always kind of breaks apart on me, and it's never like it's satiny smooth like pizza dough or something, but I think it doesn't really matter. I've probably gotten away with making this bread without kneading it any more than what I've already done just sitting here talking to you. So just keep working it around. So fold it, right? Turn it, fold it over, squish it. And this just helps to build the gluten. And we've been at this for almost 3 minutes now. I'm getting bored, so I might call it a day on this meat eating thing. This is where I was asking about machinery. If you have machinery, then I usually let the stand-up mixer in the dough hook, stick it in there and just let it beat on the dough for a little while. Anyway, I think that's going to work for this dough. So, get our bowl again. I gotta open the cabinet. Ooh. A little bit of oil. Roll that around. Flip it so it's got a little oil in it. That will do two things. Having a little bit of oil on the dough will help if it does rise up to the point where it hits the plastic. It doesn't stick to the plastic or doesn't stick to the bowl quite so much. And also it just helps keep the moisture in the dough so the dough doesn't dry out. Cover it back up with plastic. If you have a plastic shower cap from a hotel or something, that works well for this. These are actually purchased shower cap like cover thingies. Anyway, let this go for 2 hours and then we'll check on it again.